All right, good morning, everybody. How we doing? How we feeling? It is hump day. Had a couple technical difficulties this morning, but nothing we can't make it through, can't push through. All right, so let's go ahead and get going with this. Sound checks is okay. All right, so for our economic calendar today, for our economic outlook, we had ADP non-farm employment change at 8:15, pending home sales at 10, and crude oil inventories at 10:30. Tomorrow we have initial jobless claims in the ISM manufacturing PMI, and then on Friday non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate. Let's go ahead and check out that power range. So when I posted this for the NQ Future Sessions power range report today, we got a high of 14,591, a low of 14,568 and 3/4. Sentiment is short. According to TradingView and Thinkorswim, where it's down 0.03%, which is not really accurate. We'll look at that in a minute, but we had a volume of 57K and the ATR 174.91. Just check out how that played out overnight. So we had a little bit of bulls come in, continuation from yesterday's buying. Traded back down to PR -1, a little bit of retracement before we dipped into the European session, down to PR -4, and then retracing back to the power range low. Create a nice little range here. So we look at this daily. So right now, it is saying, if I can move this off, we're down 0.03%. Well, if we throw our little tool here on that, this is going to be a rough estimate. It's more like 0.13%. So I don't know what's the deal with that, why that number is off like that, but we know the sentiment. We see the sentiment. That's all that really matters. The numbers in and of themselves are not extremely relevant. Just as long as we can see the sentiment of the market, we got an understanding of, what our market makers and what those that move the market, what they're somewhat up to. You see we got some consolidation here, position building. A lot of market maker activity happens in the pre-market. So, this definitely looks like them preparing for whatever they want to do after the open. All right, so let's go ahead and switch on over to Sierra chart. Look at the rest of the market. All right, so what we're looking at for ES, pretty much the same story, exactly similar price action. Traded down a little bit further with that overnight sell-off, but right back up to the power range low, hanging around this range. Nothing new to see really on the daily. Of course, we haven't really had a whole lot of directional volatility over the last couple of days. Been trading in really small ranges. Looking at the RTY. All right, it's falling right in line with NQ and ES. Take a quick glance. I'm just going to kind of run through these really quick. So we have YM. So all the index futures are basically on the same sheet of music this morning. So let's see if one wants to be stubborn and do its own thing after the open. Let's go ahead and check out crude. On the daily, looks like we're setting up for some correction. We'll see what the inventories report does until we get some volatility short. or if we just get a bounce or just hang around, we'll check that out after the 10:30 inventory report. GC, interesting thing with GC is we're breaking down. We had this flag pattern here. We are seeing some buyers sitting down here, but it's still making an attempt to break lower, break the low of this consolidation, this flag pattern. Let's see if we get that continuation, or if it catches a bounce. Let's see, pretty much on the daily or from the intraday perspective, just trading within a range, chopping around. And the currency, the euro currency, similar price action to GC on the daily. Got some sell-off, some choppy sell-off. Leading into the bell. This is actually really good pattern to trade, depending on what your strategy is. Especially if you have a buy the dip type of strategy, you're looking for the pullbacks. This gives you some good opportunity. Looks very mechanical. Right, so that's looking. It's our futures market. I need to get a better name for this. I'm not feeling the futures market watch name. There's some ideas in the chat for what I can name that little segment right there. When I look at the different futures contracts. Go back over my checklist. My only goal is to trade the strategy to perfection. That's been working out so far. Always make sure we're seeing the big picture. And keep our plan in mind for the evaluation account. So if anybody saw for whoever saw, of course that there were people that saw with the little live stream testing that we did yesterday. That's something that's we're going to start doing on a regular basis. Usually, me and my partner, we trade together on Tuesday, and we share ideas and different perspectives, our different perspectives on the market. So we're going to start bringing that live. So every Tuesday, you can tune in to that. That's more of a, but I'm just gonna leave it right there. Let's see. Get my pre-market snapshot. Less than 2 minutes to the bell. Just running through my checklist, making sure I got everything. I ran through all my routines. I'm not skipping anything. Looks good. Make sure I turn my protection off. So far right here, we are open. Leading up into that, we were seeing some support at around in that 455 range. Set my PR -1. Got a little target war going on at the open here. From a long-term perspective, it's been a while since we had some correction. I'm sure that's why we're getting a lot of this battle price action lately. Some selling coming in strong there. Still got the tug of war action. What am I looking for? There's a lot of red on the delta. Cumulative delta red across the board for today's session. Trading through a couple pivots here. The structural, looking at the structure. Got this pivot right there. We just traded through another one right here. Could possibly be setting up a momentum play. I know I want to pull back. I didn't even get in there quick enough to take a momentum play. Where is my stop loss? I can see that we're trading in a tight range. So I gotta make adjustments to how I got this set up. Good thing I'm recording this. Probably not gonna get a screenshot. Should play out from here. All right, my break even is triggered in both accounts. In my evaluation, I'm taking it. We We're almost there. Got a balance level right there at 521. That is right below our session low. I actually should have had that order a little bit higher, but it's hindsight capital. We saw we had buyers come in right there at the session low. Having a lot of buyers that do not want this price to go down. They're trying to hold this price up, and they're doing a pretty good job at it. Looks like this is going to turn into a scalp for me. Alright, that takes me out everywhere. Let me cancel our orders and reassess. I didn't get the screenshot or to take a note or anything. Alright. Let me just note that down. I have to grab the screenshot later from the replay. So now we're watching to see where the buying that came in at that session low, seeing how far it can take us back up. I got a balance level at 574 that I'll be watching. As a matter of fact, let's see, I haven't reached my stop trade threshold yet, so I'll be looking to play that. Seeing resistance right here without in line with the VWAP. I can't see exactly what the price is. I think that's 558. I actually should put the marker over there. What always shows me the price. We got our VWAP and our 200 close together, and we are seeing resistance there. that just came into my vision. I wasn't paying attention to it, just looking at my levels and the structure. This is why it's important to keep your charts as clean as possible, because it's easy to get tunnel vision. If you have too many things going on your chart, it's hard to see it all. And then that start triggering all kind of psychological things where you're getting FOMO and feel like you missed something because it responded to one of your indicators, one of your dozens of indicators that you got on your charts. I mean, I definitely started out with too many indicators, had all kind of stuff on my charts when I originally started trading, when I was trading stocks. But that little session helped me understand about cleaning up the charts. And I've been playing around with indicators, as I progressed. But my charts haven't just always stayed the same. I like to test things out. I like the trial and error method of developing my strategy and working on myself as a trader. The only way you're gonna know if something works or not if you try it out. But the way that I like to try things out is I will try it out in the sim mode first. So if I got something that's working, that's what I'll stick to with my live trading, whether that's in a funded account or my regular account. But if I'm looking at something that's that I want to test out and it looks interesting to me that I'm not using already, I will try that out in the sim mode first, back test it, do all the stuff in a safe environment, is to see if it's something I want to actually bring into my actual trading. And then if it's something I like, then I kind of do it on if I already got a lot of stuff on my chart already and I see something new that looks interesting, I won't add it. I'll see if it can replace something, if it needs to replace something. And if I don't find as much value in that new whatever it is, piece of information, the new data, to where I can replace it with something what I'm already using, then that's what I use to make the decision about if I'm actually going to use it or not. No matter how much I can value that I see in it just from that piece of information itself. So just still continuing with this tug of war, this little battle within this range here. Got a little bit of a pullback, not quite to where I was looking for it to go, but the buying is not done yet. So still got this consolidation price action that we were seeing in the pre-market. Market makers are still in setup mode. Positioning the market so they can get paid on the spread. Right back to VWAP. Got this false breakout for this potential takeout position here, which I explained that in my last video that I posted yesterday. So if anyone took that, which I know there are retail traders at least that took a position like that, they're feeling trapped right now. We got this buying coming in, but the still on negative delta. And we did have a phase in the market just a couple months ago, where they were taking the market up on negative delta. Just referencing historical experience. Teasing the high of that range and then right back down. Price action of lately has been it's been really good for range bound trading. If you have a range bound strategy, you've had a lot of opportunities depending on how you execute your strategy, of course. Does look like they want to take this higher. Delta's starting to flip back positive. Had a spike of volatility that came in just there. Breaking our power range low. I'm going to be looking at the price action here. It's another scalp in the evaluation, the performance account. Took a scalp. They got my screenshot that time. Flashed above the 200, right back down below it, back into VWAP. And make sure I adjust this order down here. Alright, so So I'm going to be looking this to the full position to take it back down to the session low. Break even is triggered. We're seeing buying coming in at the body of this range, this opening range. I should say at the low of the body of the range. I'm on the same side with that trade. That's what's up. Getting a little bit more of a push. It's interesting how price flips right before orders that I have open. But yeah, so it actually makes sense because I'm basing a lot of this off of structure. So for them, the way that they move the markets, they're looking at that structure also. They're not going to necessarily, if I'm trying to profit from that, I'm not going to wait for the edges of that structure. I'm going to get out before it, just to make, to make sure that I get the most that I can out of the position. That's one thing that I need to keep in mind when I'm setting my targets and stuff up. Go ahead and remove these other orders. Just to make sure this will be my final trade for the day. And on that note, is kind of on the topic of overtrading. It only takes a couple trades a day to see some significant results from your strategy. You can always scale your position size and all of that stuff. Most overtrading that I see is, to kind of put it into perspective, a lot of traders kind of bring a 9-to-5 employment mentality to the market, to where you feel like you have to be here from this hour to that hour. I have my window from 9:30 to 10:30, but if I get trades, if I get what I need like before 10 o'clock, I'm done for the day. Like, the whole purpose for trading is to have freedom of time. So, and that's the underlying purpose. There are other things that are tied to it, and the reason why I trade futures and all that stuff that I'm not going to get into right now. But one of the main things is freedom of time. So to have that freedom of time, I can't be worried about the clock when I'm trading. I gotta, just stay focused on what I'm actually here to do, and that's to, number one, trade the strategy the best that I can and execute and perform as best as I can, and then let the profits take care of themselves. And then once I get that profit, just be done for the day, and I can always come back the next day. If for whatever reason the market doesn't open again the next day, or something happens with the market where we can no longer trade, then none of that other stuff even matters anyway. So don't be worried about, I see FOMO kind of get the best of people in terms of, they get profit in that day, but they'll keep trading, and a lot of times you end up giving it back once you overstay your welcome, and you just all you gotta do is be done for the day and come back the next day, and you can add to your P&L. You can get, make your money that way. Those small numbers add up, and I've proven that to myself, and within these last few months, starting last year, just trading in this Leeloo account, is that these small numbers really do add up over time. And before, when I was struggling before, I would try to go for the bigger plays, and I was kind of, guided by my P&L, trying to make a lot of money, not understanding that if you make consistently whatever the number is, a small amount of money every single day, or as many times throughout the month, throughout the week that you can, those numbers add up. Manage your risk, and then you'll see the results you're looking for over time. You gotta have it helps to have a long-term perspective, in my personal opinion. So with that move right there, I'm gonna go ahead and adjust my stop loss, put it right above. Structurally looking at this, putting it right above VWAP. I really at this point don't want it to trade back in this range. I would like it to run from here. So if it doesn't, I'll just go ahead and take the profits based on structure and my levels. Not exactly sure how I started that little spiel that I just did, but I don't know if I made my point or not. But yeah, I'm just leave it right there. I get an idea and I just start running with it and forget the original reason that I started the idea. So a couple ticks away from my main target, almost. There we go. Takes me fully out of the trade, and I'm done for the day with trading anyway. I'm still gonna sit here and watch. So I may be, even though I'm done for the day, I will still sit here and watch and get that screen time. So if you want to put a lot of time in anything, that's what you should put the time in. So if you want to sit here between the whole time that the market is open, sit here and just watch the market. There's a lot of value that can be obtained from just sitting and watching price action all day. You get your eyes used to seeing how the market moves. You get used to the ebb and flow of the market. You'll start seeing what the market makers and the algos are doing. You'll start seeing the patterns, because all of this stuff works in patterns. They have, they set their strategies up in a certain way. Even if they're running an algorithm, those algorithms are designed by human beings, and human beings do things in patterns. So once you can start seeing that, it'll kind of make it'll help build your confidence, and of course it's going to vary from person to person, but it'll help make trading easier, to where you don't get caught up in FOMO and all of those psychological things that get you in bad positions and get you trapped without knowing you're trapped. I'm gonna have to remember my frame of mind. I didn't note any of that in the journal, but it's all good. Usually, I don't give a whole lot of attention to the journal when I'm doing these live streams. I like to stay focused. Let me give myself a little protection and put this back in sim mode. Being completely transparent, I am getting the itch to take another trade, but we're not going to do that. I'm not even going to do it in sim mode. I don't even want to develop any bad habits. No matter how much experience we have, no matter what level we're at, we're still, at the end of the day, we're still human, so we're prone to making mistakes and, making human errors. So I've seen it no matter how many years of experience. I've seen traders with multiple decades of experience, and they still make mistakes. They still do things that they know that they're not supposed to be doing. So, this is why we have to understand our risk and make sure we stay disciplined to our risk. And risk management is always not, it's not only just putting in stop losses, whether it's a hard stop loss or a mental stop loss. Risk management is also, when you're done trading, what you still want to watch, put your account in sim mode, or if you just can't control yourself and placing that other order while you're still just sitting here watching, just walking away from the desk, going and do something else. All that mental preparation before the market, whatever you do, whether you meditate, whether you just sit, you go and you do your pre-market study and research, however you mentally prepare yourself, all of that is part of risk management. So we did see rejection at the session low, or buying come in at the session low. Right back up into our structure at the low of that range, our opening range, however I want to say that. This balance level we're holding price within this balance level, or this balance zone. So we got some continuation of mechanical price action this morning. Looking at the daily chart, and then with today's price, intraday price action, some market correction does make sense to come sometime in the near future. Of course, my crystal ball isn't working, so I don't know when. We are definitely due for one. How that happens, of course, we don't know, and it looks like we do have selling that are just trying to take it down, but the buying just won't let it. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this week plays out. Today is the last day of the month. That's one thing I did mean to. Of course, we all know that if we look at the calendar, but that is something also to be aware of. It'll be interesting to see how the day closes out, and then what the rest of the week looks like. As our battle continues, buyers stubbornly holding the market up, even though we got selling, a lot of selling. Don't want to speculate too much and try to say which way I think the market is gonna go. Eventually we will come out of this range. I'm not going to speculate on it. Let the market tell me what it wants to do. That was low volume in that first 30 minutes. Only 86,000 contracts. Relative to what we've been used to seeing. But historically, during these summer months, trading does, slow down. So it looks like we are staying true to that narrative. Things I think starts to pick back up around somewhere in July after the holiday. What is that? The market is closed on. What day is the market closed? Should be Monday, right? Yeah, so the market is closed on Monday. So it's gonna be a long weekend. Give me a lot of time to get some other stuff done, some of these other projects done. There'll be of course there will be no live stream on this Monday, but the Tuesday thing, we will be going live with that. July 6th. Still, we got this mechanical trading. We got price turned around at the VPOC. They are using these data points for how they're moving this market this morning. Saw the same thing yesterday. Right back up and buying again right at that structural low. And we got these wicks down here, but if we look at where we get the most touches, this is where we get the buying that's coming in and start loading in. Also looking at a volume profile and then bringing the price right back up. So now the range is between that little area right there, our little buy zone. Between that and VPOC, see if they bring it back up to VWAP and how far they take this. If we go back to the high of this open market range, or if we keep this smaller range. Right. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Hope everybody have a good rest of the week. Have a safe holiday weekend. And I will see y'all on Tuesday. Put things together. Trade it easy.